Well, hello, YouTube pipe community. Back on the bullfrog pipe. Love this pipe. It's a great one. I'm smoking the last bit of my. What is it? The plum pudding. Sorry for the dead air there. Now, I've warned you folks in the past that I do want to get into other subjects just besides pipe smoking. And yeah, I think today's the day. I pay a lot of attention to politics lately in the United States, which is funny because I never really paid much attention to politics when I lived in the United States, and now that I don't, now all of a sudden it's one of my new hobbies. I got into watching a lot of Ben Shapiro. And yeah, he's been great. Something about myself that I've learned, and it's not an easy thing to say, but I've learned that I can be persuaded fairly easy. At times, I'd say even gullible. And when it comes to all that, I'm starting to check myself on that. And, instead of doubting everything around me, I tend to doubt myself and doubt what information I'll take in. I enjoy Ben Shapiro because he strikes me as a very intelligent person. What I like about him, I like someone who has an answer for anything, If you're going to challenge Ben and question him on any particular topic, his views on the topic are usually well thought out. And he doesn't just say he feels one way or believes one way for no reason at all. He usually has an argument and an answer for that. I've also, myself personally, I've made a fairly big shift from being really leftist, liberal, to more conservative. I'd still consider myself somewhat libertarian in the fact that, and I probably always was libertarian, in the concept of don't tell me what to do, leave me alone. That's in general my attitude about most things is don't tell me what to do with myself. As long as I'm not hurting or harming anyone, leave me alone. You know? And I still hold these views. And I believe it's not that they've gotten stronger, it's more that these views have gotten a sharper edge on them. I know where I stand, and I even have a better understanding of where I don't stand and what I don't know about yet. I've been engaging in a lot of it's not YouTube, Facebook arguments and controversies. I love a good debate. And I would actually love sometime to be on this channel and actually get to have some good debates. Some of the topics I tend to enjoy debating in general is government, the size of government, the role of government, socialism, communism, capitalism. I definitely lean towards capitalism. But capitalism is not flawless. But it's the best of what we have, I'd say. Particularly just a good old open market. And also developing views on morality. Now, I used to, excuse me, I'm holding my phone and trying to light a pipe and do all this, excuse me. Now, when it comes to, it's interesting. So, now that I live in Australia, it is a more socialist country. It is not socialist, but it has more socialist programs. On one hand, that's nice, in the way that the medical system is really good. And I would hold that up to the argument, even though people such as Ben Shapiro and so on say how a free market medical system is the way to go. Yeah, it's easy to say that when you don't have one, because America doesn't really have a free market medical system. As far as I gather, they kind of got the worst of both worlds. It's like a corporate free market, which makes it not really a free market. You got too much intermingling with the government, with the insurance companies, and so on. And unfortunately, it tends to hit the consumer right in the head. And a real free market medical system would be a place where you could walk up to a doctor's office and say, hey, I need to get an x-ray. How much? They give you a price. You say, a little bit high. I go to another place. How much for your x-ray? Bit lower. Cool, I'll take yours. That's free market. What they have there is you can't even literally ask them how much because they can't give you a price. And they don't even have a cash box there, so how are you going to pay? No, it's got to go through this place, through that insurance company, and then we'll give you a price when we've determined it. You don't even have a voice in that market. Australia seems to be a bit different. Excuse me. As far as I gather, with Australia, they have free healthcare for the most part, single payer, bulk bill they call it. You pay a little here and there, but in general, it's pretty much free. Up to a certain wage that you make. If you make a certain amount of money, as far as I gather, you're required to buy private healthcare, and they do have private healthcare. And I've heard people complain that in these particular systems, you don't get good quality healthcare. What I've seen in Australia, it's actually pretty good. And Australia has a lot of other socialist type things, such as, the really good paid maternal leave, once again, can be quite nice. And a lot of other giving money from the government, which in general seems nice and is good and all, but I will also say the cost of living in Australia is ridiculous. For instance, in America, you have, in all of your fast food places, you have a dollar menu. They don't really exist here. You might find one item for $1 in some places, and it's usually a special offer, but in general, no. Because their minimum wage is so high. Also, too, it's also all the little things that they get you with. As far as I gather, last I checked, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a marriage certificate in New South Wales is $400, where it's actually $40 in the States. You're paying about $300 or so for a driver's license, or in the States, it's about $20 for, I think, 7 to 10 years, something along that lines. My numbers might be a touch off, but I'm pretty much in the ballpark. Getting your car registered around here, just $1,000 every time. It's just ridiculous. That's why, and you don't really see any cars for less than $1,000. It's not really even worth it. Whereas in the States, I had 5, 6 cars that were all less than $100. Less than $1,000. Um, it's just the cost of living is so much cheaper in the States. And so I'm just seeing these kind of levels with the economics, As I said, granted, Australia has put a bit of a monkey wrench in some of my hard, strong stances against socialism, but I feel like socialism is a slippery slope into communism, and man, history can tell you what that has done for us. Also, another view I've been getting more into, and I might have mentioned this before, is morality. Now, something I find really funny is that back when I wasn't a Christian, which I am now, back when I wasn't a Christian, myself and a lot of the other people who are against Christianity would always complain about how the Christians would come running around preaching to you and judging you on your morality and telling you what is and isn't moral and how you're supposed to live. Well, you realize the left has become that now. That's all they do. It's, look at this whole PC culture that we live in now. Look at this whole intersectionality. It's ridiculous. And all they do is, oh, you can't say this and you have to say that. Oh, well, you have to call this person they and them because that's the pronouns they choose, and God forbid you offend someone. And, it's like, how dare you, say something negative about a drag queen having a story hour with a bunch of kindergarten children. It's this whole thing of now they're the arbiters of morality, and they want to attack you, have you fired from your job. Who knows what kind of negative feedback I might even get from this video, just before this hate culture of morality coming from the left. And the funny thing is, they can't even keep their morality and narrative straight. Women are oppressed, but yet if a man decides to say he's a woman, then all of a sudden he's a woman. So now is he oppressed because he's a woman, or is he oppressed because he's transgender? Is a transgender woman the same as a regular woman? Get your morality straight. If they're the same thing, wouldn't you just call them a woman instead of a trans woman? Are they now oppressed? Are they only oppressed when they got the wig on? That's what I'm saying. They can't even keep their morality straight. Also, another issue that's been really bugging me, and maybe it didn't bug me as much before I was a Christian, and also it really didn't bug me as much before I was a father. But this whole concept of where abortion's going in the United States, ridiculous. I mean, even though I strongly disagree with it, I can at least see some of the earlier arguments and angles. The old Democratic platform was, rare. Excuse me, what was that platform? It was safe, legal, and rare. Now it is shout your abortion. And with New York recently passing their law allowing abortion right up to the time of birth, and then what the governor of Virginia was talking about, pushing a new bill which luckily didn't make it, but he was literally talking about infanticide. He was talking about killing a child after it was already born. Disgusting. Horrible. You're literally the party of infanticide. Is that who you're proud to be now? Is that the group you want to associate yourself with? Is someone who, I understand your women's rights, your choices. First of all, I don't understand how empowering yourself means killing a baby. That, there's a lot more things you can claim as empowerment besides that. But that aside, you're talking killing a baby who is just about born or already born. Where does that stop? I don't, what about 5 years old? Oh, well, they're still in your care, so yeah, kill them whenever you want? No. It's disgusting. And I can't believe that people would even entertain such a concept. It's just unbelievable. And this is what also has pushed me more to Christianity. It's like, I'd rather be considered a crazy kook who believes in a fairy tale than someone who justifies killing children. You know? Yeah, pick your side. That's the one I choose. So, well, told you I'd start getting into it. I might actually start picking more of a topic and really having more of a rant on it. Once again, feel free to give me your feedback. I'd love to hear your views, your thoughts. If you disagree with me, disagree with me. I'm not going to turn off, messaging on here, or comments. So please give me your feedback. Let me know what you think. And God bless you guys, and I hope everyone's doing well.